Harlequin Special Releases and Harper Audio present Long Tall Texans, Rey, previously published as A Man of Means by Diana Palmer, performed by Todd McLaren. Dear listener, I can't believe that it has been so many years since my first Long Tall Texan book, Calhoun, debuted. The series was suggested by my former editor, Tara Gavin, who asked if I might like to set stories in a fictional town of my own design. Would I? And the rest is history. As the years went by, I found more and more sexy ranchers and cowboys to add to the collection. My readers, especially Amy, found time to gift me with a notebook listing every single one of them, wives and kids and connections to other families, in my own Texas town of Jacobsville. Eventually, the town got a little too big for me, so I added another smaller town called Comanche Wells and began to fill it up too. You can't imagine how much pleasure this series has given me. I continued to add to the population of Jacobs County, Texas, and I have no plans to stop. Ever. I hope all of you enjoy listening to the Long Tall Texans as much as I enjoy writing them. Thank you all for your kindness and loyalty and friendship. I am your biggest fan. Love, Diana Palmer. Rey. Chapter 1. Meredith Johns glanced around her worriedly at the out-of-control Halloween party-goers in their colorful costumes. Meredith was wearing an outfit left over from college days. She made a good salary at her job, but there was no money for little luxuries like Halloween costumes. She had to budget just to be able to pay the utility bill in the house she shared with her father. The past few months had been traumatic, and the wear was telling on her. She needed to get out of the house, Jill, one of her colleagues, had said firmly, especially after her most agonizing experience at home. Meredith was reluctant. Her father was only just back at their house after 3 days. But Jill was insistent. So she'd put on the only costume she had, a bad choice in many ways, and walked the 3 blocks to her friend's downtown apartment. She grimaced at her surroundings. What an idiot she'd been to come to this wild party. But it really had been a tumultuous week for Meredith, and she'd wanted to get her mind off her troubles. Her father's violent behavior at the house they shared was unnerving. They were both still grieving, but her father had taken the tragedy much harder. He felt responsible. That was why a scholarly, conservative college professor had suddenly retired from his job and turned into an alcoholic. Meredith had tried everything she could think of to get him into treatment, but he refused to go on his own accord, and the treatment facilities, which would have taken him, wouldn't unless he went voluntarily. Only a violent episode that had landed him in jail had temporarily spared her of this saddening experience. But he was out 3 days later, and he had a new bottle of whiskey. She still had to go home after the party. He'd warned her not to be late. Not that she ever was. Her gray eyes were sad as she sipped her soft drink. She had no head for alcohol, and she was as out of place here as a cup of tea. Not only that, her costume was drawing unwanted attention from the men. So was her long blonde hair. It had been a bad costume choice, but it was the only thing she had to wear on the spur of the moment. Going to a Halloween party in her street clothes would have made her stand out too. She moved away from a slightly tipsy colleague who wanted to show her around Jill's bedroom, and unobtrusively put her glass on a table. She found Jill, pleaded a headache, thanked her for a good time, and headed out the front door as fast as she could. Once
Sample complete. Ready to continue?